Hello and welcome back to the Soccer Brothers Podcast. This is episode number 57. I'm your host, Sahil Katan. As always, I'm joined by my brother, Nihal. How you doing, Nihal?
I'm doing really well, man. I just got back to school, back to Ohio State, getting adjusted to the school life once again. I'm really liking my classes. I got to go to a Crew SC match this weekend, which was a lot of fun. We beat the Earthquakes, and Ethan Finley scored. I love watching him play, and I love seeing him score. How are you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well, just getting back into the swing of things. My junior year of high school started last week, and I'm just getting back into the swing of things. Roma's season started, and they haven't been doing that well, so I hope once the NFL season picks up that the Packers can kind of make up for that.
Yeah. Well, the Packers should be good this year. Everton are doing pretty well, so I'm very, very excited about that. But the biggest news we have for you guys is that U.S. men's national team legend Landon Donovan will be joining us for episode 60 of the Soccer Brothers podcast. This is episode number 57. Episode 58 will be after the U.S. men's national team's match against St. Vincent and the Grenadines on Friday, September 2nd. And, well, it'll probably come out on September 3rd morning. And the episode 59 will be after the U.S. men's national team versus Trinidad and Tobago, and they will be playing that match on Tuesday, September 6th. So we're really excited to have him on. Our website will be going live very, very soon. We have new music coming through, so that's very, very exciting, and we are going to make a commitment of having at least one episode per week. We really want to get back into having a consistent schedule, as we have in the past.
Yeah, and on those weeks that the Champions League is happening and the Europa League, we will, try to put out an episode midweek, but, obviously we can't really make any guarantees. But, yeah, for now, we're trying to make a lot of big changes to the podcast. It's going to be a nice, this is the year, this is like a new year for the podcast, with the club starting up. I mean, obviously it's not a new calendar year, but, it kind of feels like a new beginning with school and everything going on.
Absolutely, and we haven't covered MLS that much this season. We're definitely going to be doing that in the coming weeks. And the thing is, it's hard for us to do more than one episode a week because Sahil has school. He has school and soccer, which is by the time that's done, it's sometimes 7, 8 o'clock. I have school, I have work, and I have like a bunch of different club commitments on campus. So it's difficult, but we love doing this. And like Sahil said, it really does feel like a new beginning, not only with the new school year, but with having Landon Donovan on. We really want to get on a consistent schedule.
Yeah. All right, so before we talk about the soccer in this episode, we have to talk about the amazing soccer-themed clothing brand named Ambitious Strike. If you want to check out their merchandise, you can go to ambitiousstrike.com. If you want a 15% off discount on your entire purchase, enter the code BROTHERS at checkout.
Yep, go check them out. That's ambitiousstrike.com, ambitiousstryk.com. The link to their website, as always, is in the description.
Definitely go check them out. Now, Hope Solo, starting USWNT national goalkeeper, his contract was terminated after she made comments after the crash out of the Olympics against Sweden in the round of 16, and she called them cowards, and the USWNT and U.S. Soccer finally had enough of her antics. This isn't the first time she's done something like this. So it looks like it's going to be a while before we see Hope Solo on the pitch again in a USWNT shirt.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that. I hope it's done. I think it's more than just the comments she made after the Sweden game. I really believe it's sort of a culmination of things that have happened over the past year. Of course, before the World Cup, she and her husband drunkenly drove a team van. She's had the well-documented case of domestic violence against her nephew, I believe, and her sister. And she, of course, was talking about Zika in Brazil and sort of making fun of Brazilians, which is the origin of that Zika chant that we heard during the Olympics. So, even Sunil Gulati in his statement sort of made it clear that this was sort of the final straw. That being said, U.S. contracts are year to year for the women's national team. So really, her contract being terminated, she could sign a new contract for next year. I don't anticipate that happening because, honestly, I don't think Hope Solo is as good as she has been in the past. And I think it's time for maybe an Ashlyn Harris to be given a chance with this team. It's even her teammates said this doesn't really represent the U.S. women's national team and the way they think and the way they believe. And to be honest, her comments were stupid. Sweden had a great game plan. They executed it perfectly, and credit to them. Go ahead.
Her comments after her contract was terminated wasn't really much of an apology as much as, she was trying to justify that she always puts her all, when she's in goal. And I don't think what she said was wrong still. But you obviously think this, because you didn't really talk about it. You talked about what Sunil Gulati thought, but you thought this decision was justified, right, by U.S. Soccer?
Yeah, I think it was completely justified. Like I said, it's a culmination of everything, and what you say about her not being apologetic is perfectly right. She doesn't seem to own her actions, and the fact of the matter is that when you put on that jersey, you're not only playing for your team and representing your team, you're representing your country. So, and she's been one of the most high-profile people, and I actually wish U.S. Soccer took some action earlier. You don't want someone who's going to sort of say things without a filter representing your country. And, we saw, I know this is sort of a hot topic issue, but we saw Colin Kaepernick. He's been getting a lot of criticism in the media about what he did about not standing during the national anthem. Hope Solo is representing this country. She's literally representing the United States for soccer at the Olympics, at the World Cup, wherever she's playing, she's representing the country. And I don't think it reflects. It doesn't reflect well on the team. It doesn't reflect well on the country or the federation. And I think for their sake, it's sort of a win-win because it's after the Olympics and it's after the World Cup. So she, they don't really need her right now. She's up there in age. She might have been done anyway. So PR-wise, it was good for them. They were able to sort of cut ties with this player. And for the team, too, it was also good because even if they want her back in the future, they can have her back for the 2019 Olympics because, there's nothing really happening in the next couple of years except for smaller cups.
Yeah, I think you pretty much hit it all. Why don't we move on to the U.S. men's national team? As Nihal said before, they're going to be playing their last two World Cup qualifying matches in early September, and Jurgen Klinsmann has released his roster for that team. So, we're just going to kind of go through it. Starting at goalkeeper, you've got Brad Guzan, Ethan Horvath, and Tim Howard. Two players on this roster have recently been transferred, Brad Guzan and Tim Howard. Tim Howard's on the Colorado Rapids now, and Brad Guzan's on Middlesbrough. I think it's pretty clear that Brad Guzan's going to be the starting keeper now, right?
Yeah, Brad Guzan has made 2 appearances now for Middlesbrough. So that's good. I'm not sure if Victor Valdez is injured or if Brad Guzan has won that outright. I think he will be the starter. Tim Howard playing okay. He let in 5 goals against NYCFC the other week, but he made a big penalty save.
That was really nice.
And then Ethan Horvath, I think, is a wonderful keeper. He's coming off a win this weekend and a clean sheet. I think this might be the time where Ethan Horvath can sort of push for that first team spot, but I think with these 2 crucial qualifiers, Jurgen Klinsmann is not going to take that risk, and I think he's going to go with Brad Guzan. I hope he doesn't cycle through them. Between Guzan and Howard, I hope he sticks with one. And Guzan obviously playing at the highest level right now with Middlesbrough, who are actually doing pretty well. I think Brad Guzan's the easy choice there.
And I'll give a little bit of credit to Jurgen because he's been putting Ethan Horvath in the roster, a lot recently, and at least it gives him a chance to get settled in before, he starts to start for this team, which I imagine he's going to in a couple of years or
right.
maybe a year.
It'll be a battle between him and Bill Hamid, who's back from injury now. And I think Hamid needs to make a move to a better league. I think they both do, to be perfectly frank.
Yeah. All right, moving on to defenders. We've got Callan Acosta of FC Dallas, Matt Beasler of Sporting KC, Steve Birnbaum of DC United, John Brooks, who right now is injured, and Sasha Kljestan will be replacing him from the Red Bulls. And there's Jeff Cameron of Stoke City, Omar Gonzalez of Pachuca, and Fabian Johnson of Borussia Mönchengladbach, Michael Orozco of Club Tijuana, DeAndre Yedlin of Newcastle United. So 9 defenders there. Anything that surprises you, or does it surprise you that anyone's listed here as a defender?
Does it surprise me? No.
Like Fabian Johnson, for example.
Well, yeah, Fabian Johnson is going to be playing left back, it seems like. And I think, well, we'll get to the midfield in a little while, but I think surprises people. Obviously, John Brooks is a big loss, but against these teams, I think Jeff Cameron and Omar Gonzalez, or Jeff Cameron and Matt Beasler, or Birnbaum, whoever is there in central defense can do the job and do it well. DeAndre Yedlin, we haven't talked about, and I guess we're not really scheduled to talk about his move to Newcastle United. So let's talk about that for a little while, actually, just to switch gears. Moving down to the championship, I think a lot of U.S. fans are disappointed he's not staying in the Premier League, but they look like a team who are building and who are going to come right back up. It's not a guaranteed thing, but if he can establish himself there under a world-class manager like Rafa Benitez, it could be really good for him in the future. If they come up into the Premier League and he plays with Newcastle United, who are a really big club, I think it could be good for him. Do you have any thoughts on that before we move on?
I mean, look, I would rather have had him, go on loan from Spurs, because I mean he's going to be playing the Premier League, sure, next year maybe, but he already could have been playing for the Premier League for Spurs. I know they have good fullbacks.
I don't think he would ever get into that Spurs team.
Yeah,
I don't think
that's fair.
I mean, it's not like he's a 17.
You don't think his ceiling is that high?
Well, I think it is, but it's not like he's 17 or 18 years old. He's 22. I mean, he needs to be playing. I would rather have him be established at a club and have him be the first choice right back. But that being said, I wish he would have gone to Sunderland. Maybe I think I would have preferred him to be at Sunderland. But I think.
Do you think that him being on Newcastle is going to do more for his career than it would, say, if he went on loan to Seattle Sounders or something, played in MLS? What do you think the difference is there for his development compared to a league like MLS?
Well, the Championship's a better league, team for team, player for player. It's a higher quality league, and there's a promotion battle's at stake. Every match is going to matter for Newcastle because they want to have automatic qualification, and he'll be playing. I mean, biggest thing about not playing in Seattle is he's not playing on turf. He's playing against. I just think he's playing against higher level competition every match. I think he's playing under a world class manager with Rafa Benitez. That's not something we have in MLS, unfortunately. And he's playing at one of the biggest clubs in English football. Just because they got relegated doesn't mean they're not one of the biggest clubs in English football. They are. So I think, not only that, he if all goes well, he'll be starting on a team that's doing really, really well in the league. And he's going to be playing in front of 50-odd thousand fans, which he would get in Seattle, I guess. But he's playing in front of people who live and breathe football in Newcastle. So I think the experience is going to be really, really good for him. Now, I will say, if Newcastle don't get promoted, I think it's a bad move. I think, I really do. Because I think he is a Premier League quality player, and I think he proved that. Well, the move can be bad. You can't decide if it's bad after the season. You can. What do you mean you can't?
The move happened, so it's bad or good.
No, because
the scope of his career, you can say that it was a good decision or a bad decision.
Julian Green going on loan to Hamburg looked like a good move. That was a disaster. You can't judge a move until the end of the season, and part of that is if they get promoted, because he's playing on that team. Them getting promoted is a reflection of his play.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I can agree with that. Now, the championship does have a very loaded schedule, so it's going to be a lot for him, to be getting U.S. call-ups a lot and playing in all of these games. Obviously, I'm sure they have some kind of depth figured out there, but it'll test his stamina for sure.
Yeah, well, one of their fullbacks is injured. I can't remember his name. I think he came from Atletico Madrid, or he's unfit. And then Czech Tiote, the defensive midfielder, has been playing right back recently. So, and also they do play during international break, so he will have that break from Newcastle in there.
Yeah. All right, so moving on to
wait. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but the other one, Kellen Acosta, is listed as a defender. We saw him play left back with the team. We're moving back to the U.S., by the way. He's listed as a defender. He plays for FC Dallas. His best position is midfield, central midfield. So,
yeah, I was actually just going to ask you about Kellen Acosta. Okay. Yeah. But you think that? So you think that? But it obviously means that he's going to be playing fullback if he's listed as a defender. Or not necessarily, but that's what it's saying when he's under the defender category. Yeah. But you think that Jeff Cameron, because it doesn't look like. What do you think Jeff Cameron's going to play?
I think he's going to start. He played really well against Everton this weekend, his first start in the league. I think he's just going to play center back. He's not going to play in the midfield. Now, who his partner is interesting. I think ultimately Klinsmann's going to go with Matt Beasler because he wants that left-footed option. I would prefer to see Omar Gonzalez, I think, but Matt Beasler is a good choice and someone I'm comfortable with.
Yeah. All right, let's move over to the midfielders. There's Paul Arriola from Club Tijuana getting his call-up, Kyle Beckerman from Real Salt Lake, Alejandro Bedoya from Philadelphia, Michael Bradley from Toronto, who is suspended for the first game against St. Vincent and the Grenadines because of yellow card accumulation. Jermaine Jones of the Colorado Rapids is in the squad, Darlington Nagbe of Timbers, Pulisic, Dortmund, Stanko, a Liechtenstein club. He's on loan there right now. And Graham Zuzi of Sporting KC. Yeah, and Kleshnik.
Caleb Stanko is a defensive midfielder, for those of you who don't know, who's owned by Freiburg and is on loan to FC Vaduz of the Swiss Super League. So it is a team based in Liechtenstein, but they play in the Swiss League. He's made one appearance for the club this year. He actually started this weekend and got pulled in the 32nd minute because of a tactical decision. So you look at this roster, and you have a player like Caleb Stanko, you have an older player like Jermaine Jones, you have a player like Kyle Beckerman, and I just don't understand. I really don't understand how a player like Danny Williams is not on this roster, who's been playing well. Alfredo Morales, another player who played in the Bundesliga this weekend, who consistently or semi-consistently played for Ingolstadt last year, is not on this roster. And then Lyndon Gooch. How does Caleb Stanko get in over Lyndon Gooch? Lyndon Gooch can play left midfield, he can play attacking midfield, he can play striker, he's played at defensive midfield this year for Sunderland, and he started every match for Sunderland this year. So I don't understand how... Maybe Caleb Stanko is there just to learn. It's possible, because this is a 26-man roster. Only 18 players are there on the game day roster. So I don't know. I really don't understand it. I'm honestly, this is making me angry again. I'm really tired of this. I really am. How can Jurgen Klinsmann talk about playing at the highest level and not call in the players who are playing at the highest level? And, this actually reminds me of something I forgot to say about DeAndre Yedlin. My biggest qualm with the move is, if he is in the championship and Eric Lehigh and Jonathan Spector are outplaying him, why would they not get a call up and a start over him? Eric Lehigh had an assist this weekend for Nottingham Forest. And I think that's the biggest reason why going to a lower league is tougher. Because then you create your own competition amongst other other players in the pool. But going back, you look at this team. Who's going to start in central mid? Maybe it's going to be a 4-3-3 again, and you have Jermaine Jones, Bedoya, and Beckerman. Of course, Nagby's not going to start. We already know that.
That's true, actually. I was getting caught up into what I want rather than what I think is going to happen. But, usually Klinsmann doesn't bring 5 forwards, does he? So does that mean maybe a 2-striker formation?
Yeah, it's possible. You have to assume... Oh, my God. You have to assume... Well, let's go over the forwards, and let's just talk about it all at once.
All right, Josie Altidore is called up from Toronto. He's in good form. Jordan Morris from Seattle. Rubio Rubin from Utrecht. Chris Wondolowski from San Jose. And Bobby Wood from Hamburg. Scoring his first goal over the weekend, his first appearance. It was a good goal, too.
First appearance in the league. He played in the Pokal. Yeah, it was a good goal. So I would think maybe a 4-4-2 with Bobby Wood and Josie Altidore up top. I think the biggest player who isn't here is Gyasi Zardes. Gyasi Zardes not on the roster. He did pick up an injury. We don't know how serious that is, but I'm actually excited. I'm really excited to see a Zardes-less youth national team. I think it's possible that he plays a 4-3-3, honestly, and either plays Bedoya and Zuzi, or Zuzi and Nagbe out wide. If he does do a 4-4-2, I would anticipate Josie Altidore, which he's probably going to do. Josie Altidore and Bobby Wood up top. Probably Jones and Beckerman in the midfield, and then Zuzi and Bedoya on the wings. That seems like the most Klinsmann thing possible. And actually, the Josie Altidore-Bobby Wood partnership excites me. As you said, Josie Altidore is in form. He's someone who can hold up the play, and Bobby Wood is someone who can run off them. And I'm excited to see what kind of partnership they can have together.
I don't really want to say this, but because I'm sure I've said this before and it hasn't really worked out. But I'm not too mad right now about Clint Dempsey being out.
Well, aside from the fact that, aside from the circumstances, right? Their irregular heartbeat. In terms of how the U.S. men's national team will field, because I think this Josie Altidore and Bobby Wood partnership is just going to be really good, and I think. I don't know if Clint Dempsey would effectively be a good partner with either one of those strikers. Maybe Bobby Wood. I mean, probably. But... You know what? I agree with you, but he scores goals. Yeah, and it's hard to replace. And I think we won't talk about Landon Donovan's interview, but we did talk about that with him. But I just think that's a player. I mean, you're obviously better with Clint Dempsey on the field. And I can't believe I forgot to say that he's one of the big misses, too. It'll be interesting to see if Sasha Kleshtin, a player who wasn't originally called up, actually starts this match. We've seen that before. Remember, Klinsmann called up Zuzi in between both Guatemala matches and then started Zuzi. So, we've seen that before. I think that's definitely a possibility. I'm excited to see him play. But
now, if Josie Altidore does not do well in these two qualifiers, then I really do not understand Josie Altidore, because he's in really good form right now, and Bobby Wood is the best partner to pair up with him that I think we've seen in a few years. So I just wouldn't understand that if he didn't succeed.
Right. I'd agree with you. Remember, Josie Altidore probably has 2 World Cups, maybe 1 World Cup left at least. No, probably 2. He'll be 32 or 33 by the 2022 World Cup. I mean, so he's going to be someone who's in the picture going forward. Jordan Morris, Bobby Wood, Rubio Rubin, these are all exciting players. Aaron Johansson is back. He played against Bayern Munich. So we have some forward options now. Yet somehow Chris Wondolowski is still on this roster. You really felt like against Argentina, that was the last straw. But no. He's on this roster. Michael Orozco is on this roster.
He does not make the team better when he starts the game ever. And
Kyle Beckerman's on this roster. I mean, Beckerman is the only one. And Jermaine Jones, of the older players who I can... Because Jermaine Jones actually had a really good Copa America.
Yeah. Wow, team's actually pretty young, mostly.
Yeah. Maybe Christian Pulisic gets a start.
I sincerely hope so, but
I doubt it though.
We did see did Pulisic and Nagbe both start in the 3rd place game in the Copa America?
I don't remember. I was half asleep.
Yeah, we were in France at the time zone. Really off. But I
remember they played really well though. I don't think they did.
Because I really want to see them start a game like that.
By they played well, I mean the U.S. The U.S. played really well in that match.
Yeah. So do you think that Jordan Morris can really be an impactful sub for this team?
Yeah, I mean, against St. Vincent, honestly, I think Wando can be an impactful sub. So, but against Trinidad, yeah, I think if you have Josie Altidore and Bobby Wood playing most of the match, and then you have Jordan Morris to come in and inject that direct play, that pace and that strength, I think that's huge. And I think he is going to have a really, really good camp being back with the U.S. national team. He's going to want to prove himself after missing out on the Copa America. And, I think he can be an impact sub. And, I don't think he will start, but I could see him starting next to Bobby Wood. But it's not going to happen. I don't know why I said that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I want that either. I want to see.
I guess I could see him starting if we do a 4-3-3.
Yeah, that could work. So, before we move on from the roster, Alejandro Bedoya, obviously over the summer, moved from FC Nantes in Liga to Philadelphia Union. What do you think this move means for his career?
Why? He wanted to play at a higher level. He said that than Ligue 1, and then he goes to the Philadelphia Union. And I understand, you want to be home. I really do. And if that's, and he's probably making more money. And you can't demonize someone for that choice, for their family, for themselves, and I never will. But I really thought Alejandro Bedoya was someone who could make a jump to a better league and actually perform pretty well for a team. So I'm disappointed, maybe selfishly, for the U.S. men's national team. But I think Bedoya is a player wherever he is, he's going to be a hardworking two-way player with a bit of skill who's going to positively impact the match. But like I said, if Alejandro Bedoya comes to MLS and he's being outperformed by Darlington Nagbe, by Graham Susie, Lee Win, who's another big miss, then there's really no reason why those players shouldn't be in the team and starting over him.
Yeah. Like you said about the championship, it's creating more competition for him. And Alejandro Bedoya is a player who's just always seemed to be there. And I think that, no matter where he's playing, like you said, he's going to have the talent to do so. He can fit in so many different systems. You can see him play out wide even. So,
I think... But I say that, but Michael Bradley's form dipped, but he's still the captain and still playing every match. And I do believe he's probably one of the better players in that position. But, Dax McCarty's outplaying him. He's not getting a call-up. So, Klinsmann's going to stick with his favorites.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, in these two matches we need to win, I can understand.
Yeah. I think that I can't if we start Josie Altidore and Bobby Wood up top, and I think we'll be good to beat St. Vincent, no matter really... Any of these midfielders should be able to do well, to me. But, we'll see. I don't want, both Caleb Stanko and Kyle Beckerman. That would never happen. But I wouldn't want that flat of a 4-4-2, yeah.
Yeah, I really would love to see that 4-3-3 with Bobby Wood somewhere up there, and Pulisic. I guess we don't really have the players, do we? It'd be Areola and Pulisic.
I thought you would be buzzing about Altidore. What's...
I don't know. I'm excited. Honestly, a Bobby Wood, Josie Altidore partnership excites me, but then it feels like there's no place for Darlington Nagbe in the team. And I would rather see Darlington Nagbe in the team than Josie Altidore.
That makes sense. And also, Bobby Wood will be guaranteed a spot in the 4-3-3 even once Clint Dempsey comes back. So, he can be guaranteed a role there, which is
right. I think what I'd like to see is Bobby Wood, a striker, and then Graham Susie and Christian Pulisic on the wing, and then Nagbe, Bedoya, and Jones in midfield. Or it might be too attacking. So yeah, I think this roster is clearly a 4-4-2.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think, maybe Klinsmann surprises us and plays Beasler or Acosta at left back and pushes Fabian Johnson forward, but I also doubt that.
Well, how did you assess Beasler's performance at left back in the Copa America?
I thought he was actually pretty decent.
I thought he was better than I expected.
Yeah, he was good.
Yeah, he didn't just make that side less active on the attack. He actually did try to get up.
Yeah.
But I think I would rather see Acosta at this point in time, or Fabian Johnson, obviously.
I think I'd rather see Beasler over Acosta. honestly, I would love to see a Costa in the midfield.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think that's going to happen.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, I would like to see Costa.
Honestly, this is going to be the lineup. Brad Guzan in goal. Fabian Johnson at left back. Jeff Cameron and Matt Besler at center back. Yedlin at right back. Zuzi and Bedoya at right mid and left mid. Beckerman and Jones in midfield, and Altidore and Wood up top. I guarantee.
I really want to see Nagbe, but yeah,
I guarantee you that's the lineup. Maybe Nagbe starts on the wing over Zuzi. Maybe, I could see that happening. But I that seems like the most Klinsmann lineup, and to be fair, that probably seems like the best lineup with this team.
You don't think Nagbe should start?
I do, but
I think even a substitution with him in the midfield to add a little bit of creativity in the latter part of the game is better than him starting at right mid. I mean, he was good at right mid, but I just really like him in the midfield more. He's always going forward, and yeah, he moves the ball forward.
Yeah, he's a great connector. But yeah, I mean, we're really saying the same thing now. I mean, there's nothing else to say. We'll just really have to see what happens come Friday, September 2nd.
All right, yeah. Why don't we move on then to our next segment, which is going to be the Ambitious Play of the Week, brought to you by Ambitious Strike, Nihal.
Yep, the Ambitious Play of the Week, brought to you by Ambitious Strike, is Eden Hazard's goal against Burnley. Eden Hazard cuts through the Burnley defense, gets the ball on his right foot, and from 18 yards shoots it far post, and scores. A great goal by him, and an ambitious strike by him. Remember to check out ambitiousstrike.com and use the code BROTHERS at checkout for a 15% off discount. They have some great soccer-themed apparel. Definitely go check them out.
All right, we both have 3 European club stories that we want to talk about. So why don't we go one at a time? You want to start?
Yeah, I'll start. My number 1 is Ronald Koeman, the new Everton manager, has Everton playing really, really, really well. 7 points from 9 games. If maybe Gerard Deulofeu scores against Tottenham, it's 9 points in 9 games, but they're playing very well. It's very exciting. They're in 4th place right now. I know we're only 3 matches in, but they're defending well. They're creating chances, and it looks like a rejuvenated team, especially one that sort of faltered under Roberto Martinez. Kevin Morales is back in the squad. Idrissa Gana Gueye has been absolutely incredible. He's tied for the most tackles in the league right now. I mean, he's been playing really, really well. Gareth Barry looks rejuvenated. Leighton Baines is back at his best. Martin Stecklenburg is playing very well, which is something I never thought I would ever say after the 2010 World Cup. I mean, he had that injury, and he was sort of all over the place. Roma, Southampton, Fulham. But yeah, I mean, I'm just excited.
So he's going to be the starting goalkeeper, right? Because Joe Hart's linked up.
Well, it looks like Joe Hart's going to Torino.
Yeah, which is kind of
crazy. But Koeman says he wants another goalkeeper. I think maybe we bring in someone. If it's not an immediate first choice keeper, then I think Stecklenburg is the keeper for the year, and then we go in for someone next year. But Everton are linked with a lot of players. We have some money now. We will be announcing our new stadium later in the week, the Liverpool mayor basically said. Jim White from Sky Sports today said Farhad Moshiri texted him and said they're going in for a lot of players in the next 2 days. Now, whether I believe that he actually texted him, I really don't believe that. But I think Everton will want to bring in a couple of players. It looks like Manolo Gabbiadini from Napoli. It looks like that's pretty close to happening. Ooh. And Lassine Brahimi from Porto. So those will be 2 actually really good signings.
Now, these are like closer than it seemed Juan Mata was ever going to be?
Oh, yeah. It looks like the bids have been accepted.
Okay.
Napoli are just waiting. They want to get Kalinic from Fiorentina as a replacement.
Yeah.
But Gabbiadini, you'll know better than I do. I think he's a good player. I think he always was sort of playing second fiddle to Gonzalo Higuain. He only scored 5 goals last year, but he scored 1 goal every 108 minutes.
Yeah, so. Yeah. I mean, that was his role, coming off the bench and scoring. You know, and it's not like he's going to be playing starting striker for Everton.
No.
So I mean, it's hard when a player off the bench goes to a team and starts. But I think here, if he's going to have a similar role, then he can succeed.
Yeah, I think this will be good. But I think it's just exciting times for Everton. And, you know, like I said, I don't really expect us to finish in the top 4 or even the top 6 this year. But it's looking more like a possibility now. But top 6, top 4, I think it's not going to happen.
Yeah, get back to the Europa League, yeah.
Yeah, but, I mean, just the fact that we look this better, even our dad, he was telling me this team looks so much better than they did last year. So, yeah.
All right, my first story is Atletico Madrid is winless after 2 games. They're 12th place in La Liga right now. Griezmann has said that if they continue to play like this, they'll be a relegation contender. So they've only scored 1 goal, and that's been from the penalty spot in their first game against Alaves, where Kevin Gamero, new signing, converted the penalty. And they just drew 0-0 over the weekend against Leganés. So these are 2 teams that they haven't beaten that both just got promoted from the second division this year, which is just crazy. It's going to be very hard for them to contend for the title now. Something that I've been noticing after I've done a bit of analysis on them is that they haven't been using that 4-4-2 with Griezmann and Torres up top that they have last year. Torres was on the bench last game in place of Kevin Gamero. In the first game, they ran a bit of a different look. But I think if they can start Torres and Griezmann and have a little bit more width with Carrasco on one of the wings, because, you know, Koke is not a true winger in my opinion. So, he is better in the midfield, so you can push him in there, put Carrasco out wide. I think they can start to look a little bit better. I think Diego Simeone is going to have a plan. But, that's just very disappointing, and you have to feel like they can't come back from this. I mean, even though it's only 2 games, Barcelona and Real Madrid are both at 6 points. So.
Yeah, I don't think they'll come. I guess it'll be tough, because every point really does matter in La Liga. But disappointing for them. They still have the Champions League campaign. I'm sure they'll try to make it back to the final. And as those players start to gain more fitness, I think they'll figure it out.
Yeah, I agree. All right, what's your second story?
My second story, Sahil, I'm sorry. Roma, AS Roma, the historic Italian club, crashes out of the Champions League after losing 4-1 on aggregate, right, to Porto.
Yeah.
And 3 red cards in 2 matches. Who got sent off in the first match? Remind me.
In the first match, it was... who was in the first match?
I don't remember who it was, but the second match, it was De Rossi, and he stamped on the Porto player, and Emerson, I believe.
Yeah.
So, and that was dirty.
Oh, Vermaelen.
Vermaelen.
That was his first time ever in a competitive game for Roma to get a red card.
Right. So, it's terrible for them. You were telling me they lost 50 million euros in money, potentially more if they were to make it further into the competition. And, when a team like Roma is trying to compete with Juventus for the Scudetto, losing that Champions League spot in terms of attracting players is huge. Because it seems like they might not be able, especially at the end of the window here, to attract some of the top players that they might have been able to if they were still in the Champions League. Yeah,
I agree. I mean, we have like Raja Nainggolan was heavily linked with Chelsea. They've...
Well, they're not in the Champions League either.
That's true, actually. But, but part of the reason that I'm sure he stayed is because Roma was in the Champions League. And also, he loves Roma. I think he'll stay. But it's players like him and Kostas Manolas that they need to be playing for a Champions League team. I mean, it even frustrates, me personally for them because they're world-class players, and it's upsetting for them and for us that we can't do this. It's hard to wait a whole year, before you get back to the Champions League, and the Europa League is just, it's just, I don't know what to say about the Europa League.
Yeah, I mean, the Europa League is there, so it's an avenue for potentially getting automatic qualification to the Champions League. Roma do have 4 points after 2 matches. So they're still up there. They're tied with Napoli on points. But, I mean, everyone is saying Juventus is going to run away with the league. I'm not that convinced, actually. It'll be interesting to see how all their players come together and play together, but...
I don't think Juventus is going to have, like, an 100-point season or anything like that, or even 90, but I don't think that there's any other team that completely has it figured out, and Juventus is just more talented than all those other teams. Who do you think is going to compete?
I mean, I don't think anyone really is going to compete, but, Inter Milan are off to a bad start under the Frank de Boer reign. Milan are just not that good. Fiorentina lost to Juventus late already. So I think Roma and Napoli are the two, but even those two teams, their two best players were taken by Juventus, and Miralem Pjanic and Gonzalo Higuain. So, I mean, it's going to be tough for anyone to compete.
Oh,
and
my God.
Roma really didn't replace Pjanic, in my opinion. I think Pelota, James Pelota, the owner of Roma, I honestly think if I were a Roma fan, I would not be happy with him. Roma are, a top 4 historic team in Serie A. I would say they're probably behind Juventus, Inter, Milan, and Milan, right? You'd probably agree with that.
I think in terms of pure titles, yeah, we're probably 5th or something like that.
Yeah.
But we've managed. There's only been 1 year in our existence that I think we weren't in the first division. So we always stay there.
Yeah, I mean Roma's a massive club, and the thing is, for the last few years they've been in the Champions League, but there has been no real improvement. They've sold their best players. They've sold Mehdi Benatia. They sold Miralem Pjanic, amongst others, and it's just such a shame.
Yeah,
I would love to see them win the title this year for you and for Francesco Totti in his last year.
Yeah, I agree. But we just simply haven't been doing well enough in the Champions League in the past few years anyways. I don't even know what we would have done because I think we had 12 games in the Champions League in 2014, 2015, 2016, and we got 2 wins total.
Right.
We wouldn't have made it.
But isn't that more Rudy Garcia?
Yeah, I guess it's pretty much all Rudy Garcia.
Well, and Pelota, you guys haven't been signing players. The top, even Edin Dzeko, who's a very good striker, right, and who seemed like a good deal at the time. We both thought it was a great deal. Roma are a team that are a perennial Champions League team and are a perennial title contender. They should have a top striker. They should have a striker who can start pretty much anywhere, in my opinion.
And I don't think there's that much of an excuse anymore because we do not have a Pjanic in our midfield anymore. We still have Nainggolan, but it's like before.
And Strootman's back.
Strootman's back, and Paredes is also back from loan. So yeah. I mean, it's a deeper midfield. I guess
none of them are as good as Pjanic. Nainggolan is the only one who's close.
They're not the same. No one is as technically. Strootman and Nainggolan they just run and they're good at it, and obviously they're both talented at it as well. But Pjanic was just technically one of the best midfielders in the world, and I'm not going to change my opinion just because he's on Juventus now. But,
right, and I think one of the bright spots was that they did buy Bruno Perez, who by all accounts was the best right back in the league last year. And maybe that can push Alessandro Florenzi into midfield. I think he's been playing on the wing, right?
He played right back in the last match. Well, because Emerson was benched now. He's not an actual fullback. I mean, he's not. He shouldn't be on the Roma. I don't understand how he was thought to start. It's because one of our other fullbacks that we signed from Bologna got injured. But even then, and Torres apparently is too old now.
But what about Juan Jesus?
Juan Jesus, actually, you're right. He should start at left back and Perez should start at right back.
So Perez was starting at left back and Florenzi at right back?
Yeah, and that's how you drew Bologna 2-2.
Okay, well, all right. Well, we'll move on from Roma. Hopefully,
that was a long spiel.
Hopefully they stick together. Well, sticking with Serie A, what's your second?
My second story is Sassuolo. Now, not just what they've done in their first 2 games, because they've looked good and gotten 6 points. That's fine. But I just wanted to talk about this team because it's incredible. The city of Sassuolo has 41,000 people. And 10 years ago, this club was in the Italian 5th division. So wow. I don't actually know how to pronounce the actual name of this.
It's not Serie A.
Serie A.
Yeah. Like the letter E?
Oh, no. It's like I think it's like C2 or something. I don't know. Okay. Italian. But last year they finished 6th, and now they're in the Europa League. And Eusebio De Francesco has done just a great job. And I think it's really cool that a team can just do this in 10 years and come this far. And Domenico Berardi is just one of the best wingers. God. And I think it's awesome that he's managed to stay at the club because he's done a great job. He's been playing this since 2012.
I love that guy. He's what, only 22 years old?
Something like that, yeah.
And he is so good. He already has 2 goals this season in 2 appearances for Sassuolo. I mean, he's on fire.
I really want a winger like that on either the U.S.
The U.S. for sure. But he has been consistently one of my favorite players in the league. But sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. What were you saying?
And, I think another cool part of it is that a lot of Italy's best players now, a lot of best players in Serie A are foreign, but, Sassuolo, because they've only been here for so long, are mostly Italian, so and they're doing well. All the other clubs, for the most part, have, mostly foreign. Like Roma doesn't really, we have 1 to 2 starters each game that are Italian. So that's cool to see that stay. But overall, no matter what they do this year, I just think it's a really cool story, and more people should know about it because I didn't know about it until recently because they look so good. I'm just like, I haven't been watching for 10 years. So.
Right. Yeah, no, that's, and they have a really good keeper as well as in Andrea Consigli.
Yes.
And you're right, I'm looking at the team, and only 3 players who've played for the team this year have been not non-Italian.
Yeah, it's cool.
So, yeah.
All right, what's your third story?
All right, my third story is Guingamp. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm sorry, my French is lacking. Guingamp and Ligue 1 are in first place with 7 points, tied with a couple of other teams, including Monaco, who they drew in week 1. They beat Marseille in week 2, and they beat Nancy in week 3. This is a team that finished 16th last year. Defensive midfielder Mustafa Diallo has 2 goals this year. I cannot read his name. But this man, his last name is Doux, Daux. He has 2 goals, or 2 assists. Excuse me. He has 2 assists from central midfield as well. So both their defensive midfielders have been playing really, really well. And then the star of the team has been Fernando Marcel, the left back, the defender. He is averaging 4 interceptions a game, 3 tackles a game, 4 tackles a game, 3 interceptions, 4 clearances, and has 2 assists this season. So he's been fantastic for them, the Brazilian left back, and a big reason why they are in first place.
Yeah, I think that it's really cool. I want to have at least one Leicester story every year in some league. That would just be really nice.
Lucas Doux is his name. Lucas Dale. Yeah. I apologize for that. I'm just stumbling over my words.
I thought it would be a very conflicted first name.
No, I couldn't read.
Yeah, no, I don't judge you for not knowing this team's coach. I think that's really cool. Does it matter? No. PSG is winning the league again, even though they're not. They don't even have 7 points.
They've dropped a point though.
Oh wow. I think they won the league last year, or in 2015, 2016, in March or something like that.
Yeah, well, I'm just hoping for a more exciting league, but it's great to see a story like that. Hull City is another story like that. Promoted 13 fit senior players, and they have 6 points after 3 matches. So it's fun to see that.
Yeah. All right, my third story, you said Hull City, they're in the Premier League, so is Manchester City. And Raheem Sterling has been on fire, recording 2 goals and 1 assist and a brace in their last game on Sunday against West Ham. He's been looking very good, and he had a disappointing season last season. So it's really nice to see him operating in that right mid-role in this 4-1-4-1 that Pep Guardiola has been playing, and they just look like they're clicking on all cylinders. I think they're the best-looking team so far. Yeah. And it's nice to see the English international back to his Liverpool form.
Yeah, he looks fantastic. And I think Pep Guardiola has sort of connected to him and has allowed him to have an attacking freedom that he hasn't had since he was at Liverpool. So I think that's been really beneficial for him.
Yeah, you predicted City to win the league, right?
I picked Chelsea.
I picked Chelsea. Who did I pick?
You picked City.
Oh, yeah, I stand by. we should have, one... No, should we have a one-time switch?
Yeah, we can have a mid-season... No, not mid-season. Within the first 2-3 weeks, you can have a one-time switch.
Okay, wait, so it's after next weekend, that's our last chance.
Yeah, that's your last chance. I mean, next weekend is the international break.
Oh, yeah. After the next Premier League weekend, yeah.
Okay, alright, fair enough.
And, alright, yeah, so that concludes our 3 major stories. Let us know if you liked that segment, something new, but I thought it was fun. So,
right, I think because we've missed so much, we are trying to figure a way to sort of touch on a bunch of different things. So, yeah, that's what we came up with.
Moving on to transfer news. We both got a couple different transfers that we'd like to talk about. I'll go first. João Mario moving from Sporting Club de Portugal to Inter Milan for 45 million euros. That makes him the most expensive Portuguese player ever.
Wait. Yeah. No, that's not true.
Yeah, it is true.
To Serie A.
No. Just Dude, the market's been inflated. Ronaldo...
Cristiano Ronaldo was 80 million euros.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was.
All right, I'm going. We're doing some live research right now.
No, he went to Real Madrid for 80 million euros.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you positive?
Yes, I'm 100% positive.
Maybe he's Portuguese player from Portugal, because I think his fee to United was very low.
Yeah, it was not. It wasn't. I mean, it wasn't very low, but it wasn't definitely.
Well, wait for a second while we pull this up. But in the meantime, let me talk about what João Mario can do. He's a very
80 million pounds for Manchester United.
80 million pounds.
Yeah,
but that's crazy back then.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, he's one of the best players in the world.
I know, but that's that's probably the same thing as 130 million now or something like that.
Yeah, it is. He's still the most expensive player ever.
So Pogba is not.
Pogba is 89 million.
So Pogba.
Oh wait. Okay, sorry. That's adjusted for inflation.
Ronaldo's adjusted for inflation.
Yeah, Ronaldo's adjusted.
So maybe it's not.
So Paul Pogba is the most expensive player.
But we still don't know at this point whether João Mario is the most expensive.
No. The number in pounds is not inflated. Just the US dollars.
Oh, I see.
It's adjusted for inflation. Yeah.
Anyways, I'm sorry about that. But João Mario is a very talented attacking midfielder and winger who did very, very well at the Euros. I think he was one of the only players that made them actually look like a fun team to watch at some points. And he was definitely a big impact. Somebody came on. He also started some games. Did really well there. I think he's a player that can complement Icardi very well for Inter Milan, and that's a decently dangerous front line with Perisic, Icardi, and now João Mario, who I think will start at right wing. I don't think we'll see him in the midfield because they've got their fair share of midfielders right now, and maybe he can turn them around.
Maybe. I mean, 45 million euros for João Mario is a ridiculous fee. That's crazy to me. I mean, I know Everton are about to buy Brahimi for 40 million from the same league. But, I mean, João Mario is an exciting player and he looked good at times, but he really has no end product, in my opinion. So, at least he didn't at the Euros. So, hopefully that's changed. But I know he's a player you really like, and he is a very exciting player. So, it seems like a good good buy for Milan.
It's probably like just around the caliber deal of Bolasie to Everton for 25 million euros or pounds.
No, that's okay. You're telling me João Mario is 20 million pounds better.
Okay, Bolasie didn't have end product for Crystal Palace.
He scored 6 goals last year, and he missed 2 months with an injury.
Okay, but his total appearances and goals and assist stats in those appearances, that's just...
I'm talking about last year. He's improved. Okay, I've been watching Bolasie this year, and he's been pretty good. He had no one to cross it into.
All right, I'm just saying that João Mario...
And just so you know, I think that deal was ridiculous, too.
You do? I don't think you ever admitted that to me privately.
I think that deal, that's so much money. But, I mean...
He's also 27, Bolasie, which is, like, kind of old. I mean, I don't know.
That's what I know, that's true. That's what the market is right now, so... Fair enough, but...
Mario's 23 years old. I think he's got a pretty high ceiling, so we'll see what he can do.
Yeah, we will. Good move for them.
So what's your transfer?
My first transfer is John Stones to Manchester City. Absolutely a Pep Guardiola-type player. He started every match for City, and he looks good, man. He looks really good. He is averaging 3.7 clearances per match. He's averaging 100 passes a game, and he has a 91% pass accuracy. That is he's averaging 100 passes a game, 1.3 interceptions per game, and has 91% pass accuracy. That's the highest on the team, except for Fabian Delph, who has 100% pass accuracy, but he's only played 28 minutes this season. So, yeah.
He's a good player.
Yeah, he's a good player. I think, honestly, it was a good move for Everton to get rid of him. He didn't want to be there, and a good move for City and for the players. So, good move all around.
But once Everton, makes the Champions League, they're going to leak that buyback clause and get John Stones back.
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, though, Ashley Williams and Phil Jagielka is a good pair.
Yeah, no, I think Ashley Williams is like one of the... I think he was pretty cheap, actually, for like what he can consistently do.
Right, he was £9 million.
Yeah. Is that 12 million euros, I think? And then
Idrissa Gueye, who's leading in interceptions, he was £7 million.
Yeah,
so,
I think they made some good deals.
Bolasie, maybe a suspect deal, but those two are great deals.
See, that's just very confusing to me, because you get all this money from this window. That's what you're excited about, all the money that you have, and then you blow most of it. I mean, okay, not blow it, but your best deals were the ones that you could have made last summer, almost.
No, because I think Ronald Koeman is a much better manager and a much better attraction than for Yannick Bolasie. I mean, I don't think Ashley Williams comes to Everton if Koeman's not there. Koeman is one of the best center backs of all time. He played for the Dutch national team. He played for Barcelona. And Swansea, really, it looked like they don't really have much ambition and were selling all their players. Roberto Martinez is...
Wait, so he's the Belgian manager, right?
Yeah, that's not a joke. He has his first training this week with the team.
That is so ridiculous. I feel so bad for Lukaku.
Thierry Henry's on the coaching staff.
Oh my gosh. It's like he was about to go to Chelsea, and then he realized that Martinez was gone, and he was like, okay, I'll stay. But now he's just stuck.
Did you see his reaction during the Manchester United match?
Yeah. I still don't know if we can say that was the reaction to that.
I like to think that it is.
It makes sense. All right, my second transfer is Paco Alcacer, the forward moving to Barcelona from Valencia. Munir was involved in the deal on the reverse path, so he went to Valencia on loan, I think. And he probably won't start in most games, but I think he'll be good for depth. Obviously, Barcelona's got 3 competitions going this year with the Champions League and Copa del Rey. He has a good goal-scoring record internationally. His club record's, around 1 goal every 3 games, which is okay. But he's got a pretty good upside, and I think with the talent around him, he'll be able to do a decent job. And I think it was around 40 million euros, which is a little high, but they did need a better player than Munir coming off the bench, in my opinion. Yeah,
good deal for them. I don't think I can really argue with that. Sucks that we won't get to see him playing that much.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we'll still probably be watching more Barcelona than Valencia, so it might even out.
Yeah. All right. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
My second transfer, my second and final one, is Kamil Glik, the Polish international, going from FC Torino to Monaco. I think this was a great deal for Monaco, 11 million euros, so a good deal there. He's averaging already in 3 matches 6 clearances a game and 3 interceptions a game. Those are ridiculous numbers. And has an 82% pass accuracy. So, very, very good defender. We saw it at the Euros, and we saw it with Turin. I'm sure you're familiar with him.
Yeah, great. I mean, great player.
I really wish Everton went in for him. Like 11 million euros. That's such a good. I mean, even Roma. Why the hell are they?
Yeah, I saw a lot of Roma fans complaining. I don't really know. Thomas from Mullen.
He's a good player, but come on.
Yeah, no, he's. There was no risk though because it's a free loan, an option to buy. Right. Right. But yeah.
Oh, for Mullen?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think he's gonna do well. Again.
See, okay, no, that's the thing about Pelota. He likes those loan deals with options to buy or paying in installments and all that crap. Like, that's what people don't like. Just buy your players.
Okay, what's wrong with that?
The loan thing I don't have a problem with, but I think teams and players are more likely to go to your team if they know it's going to be a permanent deal.
I think I think they're also almost like permanent deals, though. I don't know. I think
they almost are. I think paying in installments.
I think it's some kind of financial loophole or something. I don't really understand it because I just don't like Pelota. Maybe former guest John Solano is rubbing off on me. Yeah, I don't hate him as much as ever. I don't really know if that's the root of our problems. I just think. Anyways, I don't really know how we got here, but I think that Glik is a talented player, and it's a shame that his team won't be challenging near the top or at the top.
But they're in first place right now.
Nihal, so naive.
Okay, Leicester City just won the league last year. It is definitely possible for Monaco to win the league.
No.
Okay, fine. We'll see. We'll see.
All right. Our next segment and our last segment will be Top 5 Americans Abroad.
Yep, and this is the segment I do every week during the European season. These are our top 5 Americans for the week abroad. How it works is I pick mine. It's my preference. If you have a different list or a list you feel is better, definitely email us, tweet at us. You can tweet at us at SoccerBrothersPod. You can email us at SoccerBrothersPodcast@gmail.com.
To clarify, though, you'll also be using players from, like, Mexico or whatever, not just European.
Right, not just European teams. All right, so my number 5 is Brad Guzan. Started and played the full match against Middlesbrough in their 0-0 draw against West Brom. He played pretty well, and good to see him starting. Number 4.
That's Malcolm. Get it. All right.
Oh my god.
On the fly jokes.
That was a terrible joke.
That was awesome. Okay, number 4.
Number 4, Lyndon Gooch started and played 77 minutes in Sunderland's draw against Southampton. He continues to impress for David Moyes' squad, and I'm really excited that he's gotten his chance, sort of out of the blue. You know, we were just watching it the first week, Sunderland versus Manchester City. I was excited to watch Pep's first match, and then Lyndon Gooch is starting. And we were both very surprised, so good to see him. Mm-hmm. Number 3, Eric Lehigh started and played the full match and had an assist for Nottingham Forest in their 3-1 win over Leeds, so he continues to play well. John Brooks is number 2. He started and played 90 minutes for Hertha Berlin in their 2-1 home win against Freiburg. John Brooks' match. He made 82 passes with a 91.5% pass accuracy. 10 of his 12 passes were long ball, or 10 of his 12 long balls were completed, which is really good. He had 4 tackles, 3 interceptions, and 2 clearances. So a very solid match for John Brooks. And then number 1, of course, is Bobby Wood. Started, played the full match for Hamburg, and scored an incredible goal. Well, not incredible, but a great goal in Hamburg's 1-1 draw with Alfredo Morales' Ingolstadt. The goal sort of came over the top. It fell to Bobby Wood. A very hard angle on the half volley near post. Muscles off the Ingolstadt defender. you know Matip, who plays for Liverpool?
Yeah.
His brother, I believe. That was him. He muscles him off, and he finished it. Good goal, and definitely check that out.
Yeah, but Bobby Wood is... I'm really excited about this transfer.
I know. I think this transfer, more than any in the last few years, has excited me more than anything. Because, I mean, I don't think we've ever had a transfer start off this well. In my recent memory.
That may be true, now that I'm thinking about it.
I mean, just have...
American transfer?
No. Right, American transfer. Just having that first goal in the first match is huge. And he beat out other strikers. This team has 5 or 6 strikers on the team. And Bobby Wood was only bought for 4 or 5 million euros. So it's not like they put all their eggs in this basket. He actually played well in the preseason and outplayed the competition. I think they have La Soga. You know La Soga, right?
Yeah.
From FIFA.
Yeah. He played for Hertha Berlin at one point, right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I think he's on the team. I mean, they had a couple other strikers, but yeah, exciting stuff. Exciting times.
Yeah, all right. Well, that looks like that's going to wrap up the main portion of the podcast. We have an email for this podcast, SoccerBrothersPodcast@gmail.com. We have a Twitter and Instagram. Both those handles are at SoccerBrosPod. You can check us out on Facebook. If you're listening, interact with us in whatever way you can. If you're on SoundCloud, like or leave a comment. If you're on iTunes, review or rate. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for the rest of the seasons in soccer, man.
Yeah, I'm excited for 3 episodes from now.
Yeah, Landon Donovan. Make sure to stay tuned. Landon Donovan will be on episode 60 of the Soccer Brothers Podcast. We'll see you next time for episode 58 of the Soccer Brothers Podcast. Hopefully after U.S. men's national team win.